I just think it's so crazy how women can like grow a penis inside of them for another human.
It took me a minute to track with where you were going.
You paused. That was such a pause. How women can grow a penis
I paused because I could see on your faces
inside of them.
like absolutely where the heck are you going with this?
So confused.
And I wanted the delivery to execute, and I think I did.
You did
Thank
just
you.
that.
Thank
It really did. I
you.
thought you were having a stroke.
No, just
Yeah.
my
That
Kira-ism.
was really
Wow, that was really funny, Kira.
Yeah, thank you. But it is crazy.
I think we found our clip. Is that PG?
I know. Welcome back, penis.
Oh, I cannot.
Sorry.
Well, welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
Oh my gosh.
It's
actually
been
forever.
No, it has been.
Actually, and
Like it actually has been.
honestly, it's so good to be back.
It's just so good to see you guys. Oh, well, not that we haven't seen you guys in the last couple months, but it's so good to know that we're recording and you guys get a little intake in our life the last couple months. We missed you.
Kira, you can't see our
I'm
listeners.
sorry. I know. I kind of like forgot what we were doing for a second.
Rusty.
Okay, but then
She's like talking, and Mary and I are looking at each other.
Guys,
okay.
and to know that you guys
tried
can
to
see
bring
that
it
we're
back.
recording and we're
And that we see you, and that you see us, and that we all see each other.
I
and we
know.
all
I cannot.
love
I
each
tried
other
to
and we
bring
see
it
each other.
back, and it didn't work. So we can
It
try that
didn't
again.
work.
Sorry.
No, Mary and I were like looking
no,
at each other
we're
like,
leaving
what?
that in.
Where are we landing here? Where are we landing?
Yeah, your faces were blank, and I was like, "How do I land this plane?" And I didn't. So it's in the bushes.
You know what? That is just a perfect intro to season
Yeah,
Oh,
I
so
love
that's how our life is going, and clearly by the title, we have a lot of life change. We
We
have
have a lot to say.
babies, woo,
Mhm.
and we have breakups. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I bet.
And as of right now, no pregnancy.
And no
Praise God.
Oh
Praise
gosh,
God. I
didn't
can't tell
even
you how good
think
it
about
feels
that.
to sit like
And
where
not
I
be
record.
pregnant.
I'm like sitting on the floor and kind of hunched over, and to not feel a belly is so
I'm-
nice.
Oh man, being pregnant sucks. Sorry if you like
Yeah.
it. Again, there's people out there who truly do, but I will just never be one of those.
Wouldn't
people.
know.
No.
But you
Wouldn't
know
know.
what people always said to us? It'll be so worth it in the end, and you just wanted to strangle them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they were right.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing now, but at the time, I just wanted to
But would you do it again?
hurt everyone. Oh, absolutely.
There we go, ladies. That's what they say.
Absolutely. I know they do. say
Labor
that.
is the best and worst day of your life.
Mhm.
Tell me more. Walk me through minute by minute, moment by moment.
Moment
Ooh.
by moment.
Well, we're gonna be here
Well,
all day.
yeah,
if that's
buckle
the
up,
case.
listeners.
So I don't remember much of my labor. Like the three of us have we talked. I mean, over the summer we're friends, so it's not like just because the podcast
Just to
stopped, we stopped
confirm,
talking.
still friends.
Yeah, just to confirm,
Yeah.
we are
Yep.
friends. It's not
Just so
like
you know.
we
But
just
there
made
was
this up.
Yes, there was one time where we were like FaceTiming, and Casey and I both shared our labor stories, and I went first, and I left out so many things that I
Oh.
realized once Casey was talking.
So
I was
many
like,
things.
oh,
Mm.
that happened to me too. Like I literally forgot about that. But it was
You-
just like
Wild.
Honestly,
Such-
I like felt like I had no idea what was going on with you, Mare. I like the day of, and then
Oh.
after, I'm like, really? So like, did this happen? Did you do this? And I think
yeah.
maybe you just, sometimes you feel like you black out.
Well,
in
also
I
there was
blacked it
radio
out.
silence, which obviously
Yeah.
you don't really owe us the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
like you mean
absolutely
the day of labor? There was
yeah,
radio
we thought
silence?
we were like, is
yeah.
she dead?
Yeah,
Is
I was like,
she
is
No,
she
my mom and my
alive?
sister said the same thing. Like,
Yeah, no, I was
Which-
genuinely a little bit concerned for a while.
Casey and I
Yeah.
texted. It was like, do you think
We were like,
everything's going
we don't want
yeah.
to be we don't want to be overbearing, but like
Totally.
we want to know
No,
if she's like
so,
not doing
like,
well,
alive.
so my sister, she said with each of her births, Simon, her husband, was the communicator, and it was his job. Like, here's your group of people, send them updates every couple hours, every hour, whatever, and like Noah and I just did not even think about that.
Okay.
So I was obviously busy.
I mean, you're
And
busy,
he
yeah.
was also like, I don't know how much to share, like how much Meredith wants me to share, and I don't want
okay.
to ask because, like,
Okay.
ow, I'm in pain.
So yeah,
Yeah.
So
labor. So you've learned moving
I've
forward.
learned now,
We need a
yes.
little bit more communication.
So with child
Yes.
2,
Honestly, I think Kira and I had a little bit of like, we hope everything's okay, because we didn't know if
yeah.
like you weren't saying anything because something bad happened and you weren't
Sure.
ready to like talk about it yet.
Yeah.
But it was also hard because we started a group chat with Noah, and then we were like, hey, don't mean to like be annoying or anything.
hey
like,
Noah.
Do you want to hear the worst thing in the world?
Oh no.
What?
Did he hate that?
Noah. Nope. Noah does not save numbers in his
Oh,
phone.
he didn't know who we were?
He didn't know who you were.
What?
That's actually
He thought
horrific.
he was like,
Jail.
hey, I think like your soccer friends were like texting.
He
He thought it
sorry?
was like Sarah and Shay
Sorry?
and them.
Which, I mean, they have every right to
And
also ask, but
which they also were like reaching, like, or not reaching out to him, but they were like texting me
Right.
like,
yeah.
what's going on? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. But he just like also is really bad at texting, so he just
I
didn't
gathered
text
that
back.
in the first
Okay.
hour.
Yeah. Because
So
when
silence.
we
Don't
were
be
getting radio
offended.
silence from him, but we started texting each other and we were like,
yeah.
Well, that actually made it worse. Just our
Yes.
fears were like, well, maybe it
It did.
is
our,
worse. It truly.
our minds were running wild. Well, I thought you were having
Oh, gosh.
complications. I didn't
Oh,
know like your
sure.
placenta previa like came back.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
Yeah.
maybe
She
she's
bled out and
losing
died.
blood. I know. That's what I was
Oh
thinking.
gosh,
You know?
your mind
No,
just goes to the
so-
worst. But
So yeah, I was radio silent that day. I went into labor at like 3 a.m. I woke up with contractions, and
this was on
this was on my due date,
on your due
which
date.
is super fun.
which is
super fun.
awesome because I was really expecting to go late and have to be induced, which I really didn't want to.
Sorry.
Anyway,
so
keep talking.
Wink, wink.
one
Keep
of the
talking.
two.
Keep
Yeah,
talking.
which is so funny because we talked about this. Like my family always went late.
Not really that funny, but go
I
ahead.
cannot.
My family always went late, so I thought that I would, and yours always went early, so you thought you would, and it was reversed.
Literally.
I'm sorry. So I labored. I labored at home for a long time, though. I actually, because it was my due date, I had a doctor's appointment that morning at 9. So I did go to that appointment just for them to like check me and make sure, like, because I kind of like I had Braxton Hicks for so long that I was like gaslighting myself into thinking like, no, this isn't real,
Yeah.
even though they were consistent contractions,
Yeah.
like getting stronger, as opposed to Braxton Hicks, which kind of go away. And yeah, so I went and he was like, yeah, you're about like 2 centimeters dilated. Like you're not super far. You could probably stay, but
Oh, also trigger warning really quick. Sorry. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know if I needed to add that really quick because we're going to be talking about stuff.
yeah, birth.
So
That's
if
a
you
good
don't like
point.
that kind of stuff.
If you have children and you don't want them to know
If you don't like that,
about
skip to the end
female
to
body.
when Kiara
so when
talks.
Kiara talks about her stuff.
So if you're interested
Yeah,
in my
skip to that.
breakup, just skip ahead.
And if you're still like trying to
Hint,
grasp
hint.
with what just happened, like what Kiara doesn't,
yeah,
we'll
we'll dive
get
into
there,
that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably a
So,
good
yeah.
trigger warning, though. I think that's fair.
Good. Thank you, Case.
yeah. Mm.
So yeah, I went in for that appointment and he was like, you can stay, but like it'll be a long time. So I went home. I labored at home for a long time. I think we went into the hospital finally at like 5 p.m. So it was like at that point I had been laboring for 14 hours.
That feels like a long time to me as someone who's never been in labor. Is that like
Yeah, but it was
average?
like early labor.
Oh,
like it
okay.
was not.
It doesn't like kill, but it's like
No, it
Okay.
was definitely
Okay.
by the time we went in because I like couldn't talk, like I would like couldn't talk through the contractions anymore. I needed like I knew they had like a big tub there, like a labor tub that helps with like pain, and I was like, I want to go and sit in that tub.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
that's what I'm thinking about right
Mhm.
now. So we went. My doula met us there, which was actually really nice. So there's like in our area, there's a group of 3 doulas that you can like, they're like freelance kind of, I guess.
But like a photographer?
freelance doula
Kind of.
is crazy.
but they all are
Freelance
labor and
doula.
delivery nurses, and so they all work in hospitals. And actually, the gal that founded that like the one of them that was like, hey,
The
let's all get
freelance
together and do
doulas?
this. Yes, she was my nurse. So I kind of had like 2
Nice. You
doulas,
had like 2 doulas.
Oh, that's
Okay,
cool.
neato.
which is really nice.
You're
Yeah.
special.
Shout out Kyla and McKenna. You guys are great.
Shout out.
Kyla McKenna.
Kyla and
We
McKenna.
love you
Kyla.
guys.
So anyways, I labored there. I'm trying. See, even now I'm trying to think like, well, what happened?
Yeah, what the heck? Come on, Mare.
Okay,
were
so
there.
Lock in.
I got there, ate some supper.
Okay.
And then I did go to the labor tub, and that's when it started to get pretty intense. By like 7, 8 o'clock, I was like, oh my gosh, this sucks.
Yeah.
And what they don't tell you is like they like there's certain positions that they want, or at least my doula would be like, okay, get in this position, this will help. Helping means, oh, your contractions are gonna be
Worse.
more painful because
Oh.
it's gonna help the baby
Yeah.
move down,
Oh.
which is
Yeah.
what hurts.
So yeah, I love that you said that, because they
Yeah.
say these are really great laboring positions. They don't mean it relieves the pain.
No, it
means
makes it
the
way
baby
worse.
will come,
Yes,
but it's going to be more painful.
yes. So the more
So,
painful,
don't get that
basically-
twisted. Don't get that
yes.
twisted.
So there
Thank
was
you.
one position that she like moved me into once we got back to the bed, and I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I can't. And she was like, just let's stay here for 2 more contractions. And so we did, and then we flipped to the other side and did it more on the other. And it just was like,
I remember that.
oh, it was so painful. It was awful. And like
And
at one point, yeah, I'm like,
epidural. Like at this
At
point.
this point,
nothing,
no.
Yeah.
I didn't want an epidural because my I had a friend that had a really bad experience with an epidural, and I was just scared of it. Like, I don't love needles. I don't
Yeah.
love it. Just I was scared of being paralyzed, basically.
Okay.
Even though that's very rare, that does not really happen often, but it's scary.
Sure.
So,
Fears are
anyways,
fears.
fears are fears. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting things, and once Casey tells, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah.
That's fine. You
But
can interject on my story if you would like.
This is your time to
Sorry.
shine, but Casey's time is also your time.
So finally it was like 11 p.m. and at this point it was almost 24 hours that I was laboring.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 20 hours, and I hadn't slept in 20 hours because
Oh my
I woke
gosh.
up at 3 a.m.
Okay.
And I remember thinking I was like maybe 5 centimeters dilated
Mhm.
out of 10, and I was like, I still have to push on top of this. Like, even if we started pushing right now, I don't think I have the energy for it, let alone in like 5 more hours. So I looked at Noah and I said, I need an epidural. Like, I need something so that I can sleep. They did try to give me like an IV medication. Like, they gave me fentanyl.
Yeah, you're such a drug addict.
Yeah, I'm a drug addict. They gave me
Wow.
fentanyl in my IV and literally felt nothing. Like, it literally didn't help. That's how bad the pain is.
Funny.
That's
which
crazy.
This is just a side note, but like literally, you're getting fentanyl, which seems psychotic.
It feels
Yeah.
wrong to me from the outside.
Well, I got
feels-
fentanyl for my wisdom teeth, and that was the best. I loved it. I felt
you
so
can
happy.
See, you can see why it's so.
I can see why people
addicting.
like it.
And the
yeah.
crazy thing is, you're literally getting like a 0.00 like
Yes.
1% dose.
Yes.
And that
Yeah,
probably wasn't
hardly
right.
Anything.
And I know that Allie's listening to this, and she's like, Casey, that didn't make any sense. And I know it didn't. But you're
Shout
barely
out,
getting
Allie.
any. At the moral of the
Yeah.
story is you're barely getting any. So
Yes.
it's,
Yeah.
it's safe. I promise.
It's
everyone.
safe. But I didn't do squat. So I was like, yeah, I need something more. I need to sleep. Like, I'm exhausted. And so they did give me an epidural. That was the worst part of labor for me, was that epidural.
Really?
Like getting it or what?
Getting the epidural, because so I at that point, I'm pretty sure I was in the transition phase of labor, which is when it's
okay.
the most intense. That's when
Yeah.
a lot of women like throw up. That's when the baby is like settling down and it's getting like,
Yeah.
oh, we're almost there, you know.
Mhm.
And so I to do the epidural, they like hoisted the bed up, and I sat on the edge of the bed and leaned over onto Kyla, the one nurse, and
Got that.
you have to like arch your back. So I have this big belly and I'm arched, and as he's literally sticking this needle in my back, I get a contraction.
Mhm. Well, they have
And
to do it during a contraction.
They have to do it, yeah. And
so just heads up if you didn't know that.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I didn't know they had to do it during a
Yeah,
contraction.
that you have to do it during a contraction.
Oh.
I
Also,
didn't
heads
either.
up, I didn't know back-to-back contractions were a thing.
Uh-huh.
I had no breaks. That was also why I was like, I need something, because it was
Mm.
like a rise of a contraction and it start to kind of fall, and then it would start again. and
Oh
I'm like,
gosh.
what the heck? I thought I was gonna have a break. Like,
yeah.
I had several in a row that were just like back to back to back to back.
Mhm.
And
Lordy.
anyways, epidural, and the guy told me I had really malleable tendons, which I guess
hate
is
that.
Oh,
great.
I don't.
hate
I
that.
hate
And they
those
said,
words.
you get the weirdest compliments in hospitals. And I was like, yeah, so far my veins are really good.
And I have
my
malleable
tendons are
oh.
malleable. And he says too, he's like, if you feel like a shot like of electricity going down one side or the other, let me know. Because it's supposed to, that's how he knows if it's like even, if it's like balanced on both sides, you know, because
Okay.
sometimes you get epidural and they miss and it's just like the right side of your body that's numb.
That's awful. Also, how long is this needle?
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it, but I heard it's pretty.
I
long.
heard
hear
it's very
long as well.
long.
Okay.
Yes. Like that's usually when like if a dad's gonna pass out, he's gonna pass out
Then.
while the wife is getting the epidural.
Got it.
So, but yes, of course, as I'm hunched over mid contraction, worst contraction of my life, I feel a sharp pain down my side because of the epidural.
Icky,
and I just scream like right, like he told me to tell him what side, so I'm like screaming. Also, I'm naked, and so
yeah, there's a lot going on.
It just so anyways, yep, but it worked, and like it was like right away I felt just this flood of relief, and I looked at Noah and I said, why the hell wasn't I gonna get this?
That's actually
because
amazing.
I said, I was like, I was scared of being paralyzed, you know. I already wish I was dead. I don't care if my legs don't work after this. Like that's how bad it hurts.
I actually can't. That's hilarious.
Oh, you're funny.
So yeah, I was able to sleep then for a little bit, but I mean sleep, they had like the monitor on me still, and the nurse was at this point, the nurses changed, so it was no longer Kyla, and it was this gal that she was super nice. I really like her a lot, but I think she was newer and she couldn't get the monitor to like stick right, and so it seemed like the whole time, I'm sure it wasn't the whole time, but she kept like messing with it, and I was like, I'm literally sleeping. It's 2 a.m. Like I've been doing this for 24 hours. Let me sleep. Leave me alone, you know? So then anyways, doctor came in and checked me, and I was 10 centimeters ready to go. And when you get an epidural, when you get an epidural and it works, pushing is like not a big deal. Like in the movies, it's very like, all right, like give me one more, you know, and the wife's like, I can't do it. Like I can't do it anymore. You know,
sweating profusely.
Which I think, yes, if you don't get an epidural, I think that's how it is. A little bit more anyways. But like
we'll chat about it. We'll chat about it.
Yeah. We were literally just like hanging out. Like there was a bunch of nurses in the room. The doctor was there and they like I couldn't feel a contraction, but they had me hooked up to a machine so that shows when you're having a contraction, and that's when you push. And so they like our doctor's like, yeah, I'm glad you're having this baby tonight. I was hoping she wouldn't come over the weekend because I want to take the boat up to Boji this weekend.
Oh gosh.
And, by the way, you're having a contraction. Time to push. You know,
just casual conversation. Then just like let's. Have
it was like the most casual. Like it was such an odd. Also, like nurses were in and out, just like hanging out. Like one walked in eating a bag of chips.
Just like waiting for the
birth
of your child.
I'm literally spread eagle, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, I actually think I said, "Welcome to the party."
I cannot. That sounds like a you comment.
So
why were the chips involved?
I don't know.
You were the show.
Probably the end of her shift.
Do you know what kind of chips they were?
No,
I'm picturing
ask for
glazed potatoes.
I also am picturing that because it's hospital.
Yeah,
that feels like hospital food.
So, anyways, yeah, I pushed for a while, and finally, Case, did you use a mirror?
There was no time.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
I would have loved to. I would have loved to, though.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Initially, so there's
I'll
a mirror.
when it's my turn.
Yeah, there's a little mirror. Except they had it turned the wrong way. It was one of those cosmetic mirrors that's like this big.
Stop. Like, was it like zoomed in?
And it was turned the opposite way, so it was like
I
and
cannot.
Like I was like, because he offered it initially, and I was like, no, I think that would gross me out. And then after like half an hour, I was like, man, let's use that guy. Let's see what it's like, you know. And so he held it up, and it was turned the wrong way. And he was like, did that help? And I was like, no. And I was like, honestly, it's fine. I don't need it. So I didn't actually really use it because
darn it.
I don't know. But I did like touch, like feel, like I could feel her head. I like touched with my hand. That was kind of cool. And then at one point I was pushing, and I remember I said like, I felt pressure and I was like, man, I feel like I should keep pushing. Like they counted down from 10 and said 0. And I was like, I think I should keep going. Like, I think she's almost here. And my doula was like, Meredith, open your eyes. And I opened my eyes and she's laying on my belly.
Oh
Like,
my
she was literally
gosh.
out.
So you literally didn't feel.
I didn't even really feel it. No.
That's actually wild
That's
to
crazy.
me.
yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
so
So what was the pressure
and,
that
like,
you were feeling at that point? That
it was her like coming out.
Oh, but she was
Like
I thought you
well,
were
like,
saying
by the
pressure
time-
after.
by the
It's
time
kinda
I
like once-
said it, she
Oh,
was
got
like,
it, got it.
Like once her
Like,
head, once
you
their
know.
head is out, and then they can kind of like shimmy and get the shoulder.
They, like,
then they
shoot
just,
and then they come
just-
out. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
They come
Yeah.
out
Got it,
from
got it,
there.
got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
as soon as the shoulders are free, they're like,
There's nothing
Yeah.
holding them back.
yeah, I want out of here. And she screamed right away. She screamed her little guts out, and it was the cutest little cry I've ever heard. And she looked so scary, and she was all bloody and had a little
Yeah,
cone
love
head, but
that.
she was the cutest thing I'd ever seen. So
Oh.
yeah, and then we had like, you know, that golden hour where they like leave her on
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
and it was really sweet. And I actually so
Nice.
my doula took a bunch of pictures and they were live pictures, so I like will sometimes go back and like click on them and I can hear her
Oh,
cry.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I've
yeah.
and I've sleuthed enough that I've tried to figure out what song was playing while she was born, because I made a playlist and I sleuthed by clicking like the live videos, and I found out it was "We Will Not Be Shaken"
By
the,
Bethel.
by like
I
Bethel.
will
Yep.
not be moved.
Wow, wait, that's actually kind of
No,
fun.
not that one.
I will
Yeah.
not be shaken.
Wait, what are
No,
you singing?
not Casey's. The one by Bethel.
Okay.
That was a camp
honestly, you
song.
got me a little
Camp
confused, to be
song.
honest.
What was your volleyball song?
Oh gosh, please don't.
Which one?
She came out to your volleyball song. You're like hymn you guys would sing.
Oh, magnify the Lord.
Yeah,
I
that
can't.
one.
For he is worthy to be praised.
I feel like I was there. I'm
Perfect.
closing my eyes and I was in the
Yeah.
room.
But yeah, then after she was born, I had tore a little bit, so he like stitched me right up. Which there's one of the live pictures where I can hear his voice explaining it to me, and I was like, can't.
Like, can you
Like-
actually stop talking?
I actually can't click the live of that one because it like jump.
What was
scare.
your terror?
PTSD.
Like, what degree was it?
It was just 2nd degree, so it was pretty like middle of the road. It took a while to heal, but it was not extreme
Okay.
like some people.
Okay. I know. I feel like we're gonna have
Okay.
a little bit of
Yeah.
two different scenarios here.
Yeah, I feel like
I would say pretty much from this point of your story on, our stories are vastly different, but that's okay.
yeah.
'Cause they
Yep.
don't have to be the same.
Yeah. So afterwards they wheeled me to our like recovery room, like where we would spend the next couple days. We stayed in the hospital 2 other days. And I reeked. Like I smelled so bad. I smelled like my BO was so bad. And they asked like if I wanted to shower. Yes.
You literally have BO the second your child is born. I literally was like,
and it doesn't go away.
I stink. No, it
I
doesn't go
absolutely
away.
reek.
It
Yep.
doesn't go away.
Yep.
I apply deodorant multiple times every single
I
day.
will say I did find my mom turned me onto it, which I'm very skeptical of her suggestions because she's super like natural, like goat soap person, you know. But
Nothing wrong with goat soap.
no,
Just for the record.
but when she's like kind of the person that's like it'll cure anything.
Okay.
You know, I'm like, well, all right, mom. And I know she's listening
Please.
to this, and she's
Okay,
like,
Gina.
it does.
Gina, we love you.
But so anyways, I told her that I had like postpartum. That's just something I didn't know is you just have really bad BO.
And,
And supposedly it's to help the baby find
Yeah,
you. It's like an
find you. I'm like,
evolutionary
listen,
thing.
That's actually wild.
Listen, I'll
Isn't that
help the
crazy?
baby. I'll help the baby. I'll just put their head there.
Right.
I don't know
right.
why I gotta stink so bad.
When
also,
we say stink,
so she can find
how
me.
bad?
She's not gonna come looking for me. She's
I
a
know, it's not
little
like she's gonna
sack
crawl
of
to
skin.
me. Literally, she
Right.
doesn't do anything.
Totally.
Cannot.
But my mom suggested it's what's the place called? Bend Soap. It's from Bend, Oregon. It's yes.
Shout out.
Do you know it?
I mean, I know where Bend is.
Didn't we go there for
but it's-
choir?
No,
Oh.
But
I
it's
think.
Really?
it's natural deodorant, which I've always
Do it.
historically hated.
Okay,
But
but
this actually works very well
So
from the
from
get
Bend,
go.
Oregon is making it all the way out to PA.
Yeah.
All right. Go
Yeah.
off.
She found it because my nephew has really bad eczema, and my mom also has
You
like a
got-
bunch of skin allergies.
You got eczema?
You got
Not the
eczema?
eggs, Bill.
And so she found this soap because it was founded because this gal's son has eczema.
Gotcha.
But anyways, I use the deodorant. I use the one that's all shield, which is basically like thieves, like essential oil.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's also a lavender one that I use sometimes, but I find the thieves one works better. And I think it's because it's like that oil like fights the bacteria,
That makes sense.
you know? But you don't put a lot on. You do like 2 swipes or else it's oily, you know? So it like makes you
interesting.
feel wet.
Okay.
But if you
Don't love
use
that.
minimal, it actually works. And believe me, you guys have smelled me before. You guys know. I'm stinky.
Sorry.
You're not that bad.
Not as bad as my feet.
Amen.
I'll admit.
Yeah,
I
that's
live,
true.
with,
know
I live
that.
with Kiara. There ain't nothing worse than
There's
some
nothing
of the
worse
things I
than
smell.
my,
Yeah,
my
you're right.
feet, so I think that you're fine. I probably could use that
Yeah.
now, and I'm not even postpartum. I'm
Um,
pre-partum.
Pre-pregnancy.
Very pre.
Pre-pregnancy.
If there's
Yeah.
any question, pre.
Yeah. But I did pass out on the toilet.
Oh,
So
Aw.
because I tore, he said I hemorrhaged. Like technically I was considered like a risk. I don't remember what exactly he said, but I like bled kind of a lot. And so when they were going to get me into the shower, they put me on the toilet first. And yes, they put me there because my legs were numb. Like I literally needed their help to walk because
Okay.
my epidural. So they put me on the toilet, and I remember I looked at one of them and I said, I think I'm gonna pass out. And that's the last thing I remember. And then
You really did.
Yeah.
I woke
Prophetic?
up and this nurse was in my face. I woke up and this nurse was in my face, and I don't even know what, like I couldn't tell you right now what she said to me, and I just passed out again. Like so I passed out twice, and they were like, maybe
I actually wish I could have seen that. I
Oh
feel like
my
I would have
gosh.
laughed a little bit.
also
knowing that you're
stark
okay.
naked. Yes, stark naked.
wait, gown.
The bathroom looks like it's a war scene. No,
Okay, just
I'm
just
naked
naked,
because
yeah.
I was gonna shower.
Yeah, fair, true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean she wouldn't shower in her clothes.
Yeah.
And then
Mm,
she was
thank
like,
you,
you know what? How about we hold off on the shower? And I said, that's a good call. So I ate something and then slept, which Noah said from his perspective, that was so scary. He was sitting in the room holding our newborn baby, and all of a sudden he heard one of the nurses ran to the nurse's desk, and 2 other nurses came running
yeah, that would
in,
be scary.
and they're like, Meredith, are you with us? Meredith?
oh my
and
gosh,
he's
she's
like-
probably like, did she die?
No, he's like,
like,
oh,
It's
I'm
just
a
me
single
and-
dad.
It's just me
I'm
and
a
Lady
single
now.
dad.
Totally. Yeah, he was like, well, I'm an only parent.
I actually hate that.
So-
I would be scared too. So he
Yeah.
has every right.
Yeah. But no.
Oh my
So
gosh.
having a baby is no joke. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. And being a mom is honestly the hardest thing I've ever done too. Like you don't realize how selfish you are until you have this little thing that needs everything from you. Like my body is totally different. My hormones are totally different. Like sometimes I'll feel feelings and be like, this is not logical. This is motherhood feelings. Like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah,
And her name?
it's awesome. Her name is Lainey. Lainey
Lainey.
Joy.
Her name?
Well, just
And her
saying for the
name?
people that don't know you, I'd be on the edge of my seat
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah,
Just
her name
tell
is
me her
Lainey
name.
Joy, which that's also why we didn't reach out to people at first too, because
yeah.
we didn't know what her name was going to be. We were deciding between a couple, and so we were like, well, do we text people? And then
She's
like
here.
12 hours later text them again.
Yeah.
You know what I
Name
mean?
pending.
Yes. So but then my sister was like, okay, is something wrong? Like, please tell us if something's wrong. And I was like, so I did text people and was like, she's here. We just don't know what her name is
Yeah.
yet. Like, and then finally it was like, she was born at 5 a.m. And I looked back and the text was 5 p.m. that I texted people her name. So it was like a full 12 hours.
Yeah.
But
It's okay though. At that point I was just relieved that you were alive, honestly.
yes.
Because I think the last I had heard from you was 6 p.m. my time.
Oh.
And then you're like trying to go to bed in a couple hours.
And I was trying to go to bed, and I was actually over
6
at Allie's
p.m. the night
house.
before.
Yeah, and
Oh my gosh.
we hadn't heard from you, and I was like, okay. And I was asking Noah a ton of questions, and if he didn't know who I was, he was probably like, "Who is this?"
I know
invasive
that actually makes
woman?
it a little bit funnier because
That actually does.
Casey was asking.
He knew it was a
specifics.
friend.
Well, because
Yeah,
Allie
but
was
he
like,
didn't
"Hey,
know
you need to
who.
ask this. You need to ask this," and I'm like, "You're right. You're right." And then
I'm gonna try to go
we
back.
weren't
and
really
find-
getting any answers. We weren't really getting any answers from the questions.
Yeah.
And then it was just you were gone. And then I was
Yeah.
like,
You were
And
gone.
then all of a
but
sudden,
then okay, this is my favorite part is I woke up because she was born at 5 a.m.
Yes.
I woke up technically 3 a.m., but which is the same time from Oregon to Iowa. I woke
Mhm.
up when she was born. And I
Yes.
remember
That is
waking up
wild.
and I'm like,
Well, and I have a
I think
text
she was like,
from
I'm like,
you.
I think she maybe was just born. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a text from you that was like, any updates? And it is at like 5:13 and she was born
Yes.
at like 5:12.
Yes.
that's actually
yeah.
wild.
I know. It was actually crazy.
was
I
your
just was like,
motherly instinct?
I woke up in like a, is she here?
Well, we
That's
we
what
were
I thought
kind
to
of in
myself.
pregnancy together.
We were.
Yeah.
Like we
were.
literally were what 2 weeks apart our
Mhm.
due date was. So
Mm.
yeah. I think we had telepathy.
Telepathy, the motherhood
did.
telepathy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was at a wedding that day, and I was like, because that,
On a Thursday
yeah,
or
Honestly,
Wednesday?
leave it to
It was
Kira
a
to go to
Thursday.
wedding. Literally any day
That's
of the week.
odd.
It doesn't matter. She's at a wedding.
I'm actually crying. It was a Thursday at like 4 p.m. So it was random. But I remember like we were finishing up the wedding and I was sitting outside and then I saw like a Snapchat and I was like, I think that's how you communicated it.
Yes, she sent us a Snapchat like,
Yeah.
"Hi guys, so I'm a mother."
Yeah,
And we were
welcome.
like,
I'm a mother. That's
don't
literally
really
what it
remember that.
was.
what? And then and at this point, Kira, we've if you didn't know, Kira never had Snapchat. Well, she did, and she got rid of it because she was trying to go on
it's
the
been a
strike or
journey.
whatever. And then Meredith and I convinced her to re-get it so that we're like, hey, we're
Yes.
gonna talk about our kids on here. We're gonna.
Yeah.
What am I
send you
gonna
pictures,
not
like,
get?
you
Am I gonna
need
be
to
out of
get
the
it.
dark for your kids' lives?
Exactly.
I'm like, I
So
will
she's
get
like,
it.
fine,
For that.
I'll download it. But she was such a bad habit of checking it. So I actually texted her. I'm like, have you seen Mare's snap?
Yeah,
because
that's
I didn't
what it
want to just
was.
text her and be like,
That's good.
Mare had a baby. Like I wanted her to experience it.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. I felt like it was
But yeah,
real
I don't know if
time,
she
but
would
not
have
real
checked
time.
it. Like, and I feel like you would have
No.
been
Because I was at that wedding.
Then
so
Kira, you would have
probably not.
texted me, and you would have been like, "What's going on?" Like,
Which is
so
funny because I actually
anyway.
found the text chat with
Oh, you did.
Noah. So I said, just want to check in. How is everything going? Blah blah blah. Mare went silent, so we're curious how everything is. And then this was at 10:01 p.m. the day before
So like Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So that would have been
This
6.
was while I was in labor.
In
Like,
labor.
while I
7.
was about to get an epidural.
Yep.
Like I was dying.
And this is 7. No, I guess this is 7 p.m. my time.
Your
so I guess
time.
I
Mhm.
exaggerated. Sorry.
And then all I said was still working through contractions. The doctor checked her and said a bunch of words that made no sense.
I
Sorry,
love
I
him.
forgot I
love
said
my
that.
husband.
But they said it was good progress since the last check. And then Casey asked, is she dilated more than 1 centimeter? Last check was 3 centimeters. Oh, great. Is she officially admitted or still in triage? Noah goes, not sure what that means. But I would assume
Yeah, I don't-
would assume she is admitted. There's no going back.
There's no going
Yeah.
back now. Yeah.
And then that was the last
And
we
that
heard,
was-
wasn't it?
Yeah, that would well, and then you asked, have you changed rooms at all? Nope, first room we've been in. Gotcha. And then I
Okay.
said, thanks for the update. That's it. But it's
Yep.
not sure what that means for me.
And
He's
then
like, I don't know.
no going back. And I'm like, okay.
No going back because she's perished.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was like. Okay, so
we
that means
changed
she's
rooms
dead.
to the morgue.
Like literally, what does that
That's what I'm saying.
mean? Oh gosh.
So
that's
for
crazy.
future babies, we will do better communication.
Just use different wording. That's all I asked.
Yeah,
just
It's
different
all
wording.
that matters is she's here and healthy, and you're
Yeah.
healthy, and everything worked out, and you ate your placenta pills. Is that right?
Yes, so I got
I
my
wanna circle back
placenta
to that.
encapsulated. Yes, thank you
Let's
for
circle
saying
back.
that.
Let's
Let's
circle
address-
back to the
address the
placenta
placenta in the room.
pills.
Address
So-
the placenta in the room.
Yeah.
As I said, there's this doula company. One of the services they provide for a fee is to encapsulate your
It's a
placenta.
subscription.
And I
actually.
thought, yeah, it's a monthly subsson. They just send you
Yeah,
random
it's a monthly
placentas.
subscription.
Yeah.
It's
That's
actually pretty
that's actually kinda
affordable
funny.
if you think about
about
I
it
don't know
all.
where
Yeah,
I'm going.
yeah.
I don't know. I thought somebody else would join in. Now there's just a silence.
Sorry.
Keep
You,
talking.
You
Well,
butchered that.
because it was not super affordable, and I don't know if we'll do it again. It was fine. Like just for how much it was, I don't know how much of a difference it made because I've
Yeah.
Why
never.
don't you do it yourself?
never
I mean, you
not
could do it for
done
maybe
it.
you could do it for cheaper yourself.
Right, I'll just grill it up. I'm just gonna
That's
take it home and grill it.
disgusting. I don't like that visual. I'm sorry.
I actually hate it. I actually
I hate
Yeah,
it.
sorry,
I-
sorry, sorry.
Honestly, I mean, I'm still trying to get on board and understand the
So
Yeah.
what is the
pill
point?
thing,
Tell
but
tell
Okay.
our listeners
So
and
willing
your
to
me
listen.
why.
placenta is where your baby is housed, for 9 months.
I mean, it doesn't
And it
live
is
in the
full-
placenta. It doesn't live in the placenta.
Does it
It-
not?
No. the placenta gives nutrients to the baby.
Where's the
It's
baby at?
in the womb. So you
I
have your
thought-
big, you
I
have
thought
your
there's
big.
the womb,
I'm actually
placenta,
crying.
baby.
Uh-uh.
Oh.
I'm actually crying. We all are learning things. Those of us that aren't mothers.
did
and mothers.
Kiara know that?
I mean, I knew.
She doesn't count.
I don't count, but I did
don't
know
know
that
that.
they didn't live in the placenta because that wouldn't make sense if the baby comes out and then the placenta comes out.
I guess that is
You know
right.
what I mean?
That does make sense. Okay,
But anyway.
but anyways, the placenta's full of like all the nutrients, and it has a bunch of like hormones in it too that are good for like healing. And so when you consume it, you get all those. You know. I know I'm a weirdo. I fully embrace it. Like, okay, actually,
I can't get over you thought the baby was in the placenta.
shut up. I cannot be the only person in the world that thought
Okay,
that.
listeners,
That's not a
listeners,
stupid thing.
if you also thought that, write us an email. It's been foreverpod@gmail.com. Get
out of here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I should send you guys the reel though of how they make it, because once I saw the
Ew,
reel, I was
I don't
like,
want to.
it's kind of. So did you, she just like cooks it in her Instant Pot and
Jail
then
time.
like dehydrates it in like a dehydrator and puts it into
Uh-uh.
like a little capsule thing. I mean, it cooks like it's cooked.
I mean,
It's
believe
OSHA
you, but
certified.
I don't know. I don't know about it.
Yeah.
So what do people
And
that
to be-
don't do the pills do with it? Like discard
Can you
of
just
it?
like eat it for lunch or
no,
like?
not that. Okay.
No, the hospital
Oh.
just discards
Okay,
it. It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
medical
yeah.
waste.
They throw it in that red biohazard
red bag,
bag.
Like,
yeah.
and never
yeah,
to be
yeah,
seen
yeah,
again.
yeah.
The
My
birds
doctor was
probably end up
so
eating
cool
it.
about it though. Like when I told him it, he was just like, "Oh, I have to look and see if we can actually do that." He's like, "I think there's a form you have to sign." He was not like, "Okay," which was kind of nice.
Well, I'm sure they've seen a lot of probably
Yeah,
weirder
especially-
things than you.
yeah.
The Sioux Center, Iowa.
And he said too, he's like, "I think the concern is just that like you're gonna cook it yourself." And I was like, "No, my doula's gonna take it and like." do
She's a
stuff with it,
certified placenta cooker.
Hey, what do you do
Yeah.
for
Fine.
fun? I cook placentas.
I cook placentas.
in my free time.
Have one
You
that I
have
can
one,
use.
a placenta, I'll cook it.
BYOP.
And just to clarify, the baby's not from the placenta. It's just
I know. I'm actually
Shut up! I don't know.
It's just funny 'cause,
that
like,
does make sense
you're a
because
mom.
it is pushed out afterwards.
yeah. So
But
'Cause
also,
yeah.
Case, do you remember birthing your placenta? Because I don't.
I mean I do because
Okay.
of my situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about your
Situation.
Yeah. Let's
Situation.
switch.
Sure.
from placentas to
Casey's turn.
Casey's baby.
I didn't eat my placenta.
Okay.
I just wanna. I'll just let you know there.
Perfect. And that's all we need to know. Kiara, how
the
was your
end.
summer?
So me and my boyfriend broke up.
It's not funny. I
I know it's not. It's
I
not. No, it's
know.
not. It's just the hard left. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Casey, walk us through.
Okay. Yeah.
your
So, I was due May 25th. LOL. She was born
Please.
June 2nd. June 2nd.
Yeah,
We went to an
June
entirely new
baby.
month, which part of me was a little bit bummed because I really wanted her birthday to be in May with me as well
Yeah.
and with Lainey. Like I wanted us all to like live in that month together.
She needed to be unique.
But I was
apparently.
also, I guess, I was also like not wanting her to be born on my birthday. So it's probably what I get for like, well, if you're not gonna be born on your birthday, then you're gonna have to wait till June. So
Yep.
that's me. So I had to go in and get induced. I went in on June 1st, and there was apparently everybody having a baby that day. And so they actually deferred me that morning from coming in at 7 a.m. and they asked me to come back later.
They're like, you're seven, not close enough.
Oh, no.
I know, I'm
you're-
kidding, but-
you don't got a lot going on. You can't come
Unless
in.
you're 10
Sorry.
centimeters,
Unless you're
bye.
actively having a
Yeah.
baby, don't come. Okay. So I ended up going in around 4 p.m. that day. And so that morning, like when I tell you the agony of already being over your due date, and then, okay, it's coming June 1st. Like we knew hard date at that point, the baby was gonna be here. I say that air quotes because that's not usually how it works, but in my stupid little mind at the time. So, we're up, we're ready. And then I get a call. Sorry, you can't come in. And so it's like all morning we're like dragging our feet like, well, what are we supposed to do with the day? We thought we were going to go have a baby. So we're like kind of like just muttering around, doing this, that, or the other thing. And then I think we went out for breakfast that morning. It was me, my mom, and Brace. And I think we went for breakfast and we just kind of like tried to stay in good spirits. I mean, you try to stay in good spirits, but you're just like, I'm just so ready to have this stinking baby.
Yeah.
But anyway, I took a nap, which actually ended up being kind of nice because my sleep towards the end was just not good. And so I was able to take a nap, and I felt really rested going in, which was important. So as I go into the story. So we go in at 4 p.m. that day, and I'm like 1.5 centimeters, like not a lot is going on. And so I'm not contracting. I wouldn't even say I was really even having Braxton Hicks consistently. Like I would maybe think I'm having something, but then like nothing would last more than like an hour or 20 minutes.
She
And
probably could have
so
stayed like another week in there.
I think she could have, if I'm being completely honest.
When
with you,
is
I
like
think she could
the
have.
final time they're like, this baby will not be okay if
I mean,
it's in
I
there?
always just think like, what did they used to do? Like before we had
That's
all
a good
this.
point.
Well, they say the biggest risk is that your placenta starts to break down
Exactly.
after 41 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, where the baby is housed starts to break down. So that's a
Yeah,
risk.
so then
I'm
therefore
about to
the
say,
baby
so
breaks
when
down.
the baby
Okay, so
breaks
now-
down, I'm gonna.
Did you think that? What did you
I'm
think then
actually
for, like-
crying.
Oh, I have
I don't
so
know.
many-
I know.
It just
Well-
when I think of the womb, I just think of like kind of one unit. Like I don't really think about all the little things that are in it. I just think of like baby, placenta.
Placenta.
I don't really think about like what's in what.
Okay, sure.
That's fair.
So I think that just came out of my mouth, and I was like, that makes sense, right?
Oh man, I'm never gonna remember that till the day I die.
Never gonna remember that.
I'm gonna wait. Sorry, never gonna forget that.
I'm never gonna remember that
Sorry.
ever.
Okay, let's make fun of Kira now.
No, this is my one time to shine
I
and
know
to
Kira's
shed
one
light on
chance.
Meredith. Come on.
Oh, so good. Anyway, so they started me on some medication called Cervidil. And the only reason why I remember that is because I told myself serving a volleyball and I love dill pickles. Cervidil. That's the
Perfect.
only reason why I remember
Actually,
the
kind of
medication.
genius.
So I took a couple doses of Cervidil orally, and then eventually we shoved it up the old volleyball, the old
Volleyball
baby
net.
I cannot.
the old baby hole.
It's bedtime.
Yeah, apparently. What's happening? Oh gosh.
Also, I still have mom brain. I'm still like I can't think of words, and I'm still saying dumb things.
Oh,
So
it's all right.
anyway, so once I got it like inserted into me, contractions started to go a lot heavier. So that was around 10 a.m. the next day. So I'm contracting all night, but like nothing super crazy. Like to me, it was just uncomfortability. So by 10 a.m. the next morning, when we take the medication a little bit differently, I'm definitely starting to feel it. It's feeling like an uncomfortable period. But I've had really bad periods before. So I was like, no, we're not at that level yet. So I'm like, maybe, we'll just see how this goes. Now, my goal was really to go without an epidural. I didn't want to do any sort of intervention if I could help it. I really didn't want to have to get induced. That was my goal, is just to go naturally, but it just was not happening because I don't know. It just wasn't. There was really no reason for me not to go except for I just wasn't. So basically, I'm just hoping that this medication will really just get my contractions rolling. And unfortunately, it just really wasn't doing the trick. So we did have to transition to start taking Pitocin. And I really wanted to avoid that because when you do Pitocin and you're not doing an epidural, it just really heightens the pain. And so you're really in pain, maybe without your contractions progressing you. Like your contractions seem further along than what you really are. So
And
essentially,
what
I was
is Pitocin?
it's basically like an artificial hormone to get your body to go into labor.
Okay.
Oxytocin is the natural hormone that your body releases that causes contractions, and Pitocin is the like man-made form of that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am on Pitocin and they start me on the lowest dose. And I'm even hoping at this point, like if I just get maybe a little bit in my system, like my body can jumpstart and then like maybe it can really start going. Nope. I just could not get anything going. So we had to up it. And we had to just keep upping it and keep upping it. So we eventually got to the point where, So just to kind of give you a glimpse of like what my room was like, I really wanted it to be like an open party, I
An
guess,
open
but
bar.
like for an
Are
open
people
bar.
eating
Yeah.
chips?
Actually, yeah, no, really.
Perfect.
So I had, obviously, Bryce was in there. Bryce is my husband, if you don't know him. And then I had my sister. I had my niece in there, and then my friend Allie, who's also a labor and delivery nurse. The sad part about me going in June 1st later in the day is her shift started at 7 a.m. So the goal was for us to be together all day while she was a nurse so she could like be my nurse. But she ended up actually just coming back and like being super helpful. Basically, it was like being a doula for me.
Yeah.
And so that was amazing. And shout out to Allie, and she saved my life.
Shout out.
I mean, I didn't actually go on the cusp of death, but I felt like she
Okay.
saved my
Thinking back to like Heston times, could you, if someone told you that Allie Jancy would help you deliver
I
your
know.
baby?
That's
I mean,
That's
wild.
just so funny.
It's just so funny. You don't
Not
think
that,
about
and not because you guys weren't friends, but it
no,
just is so
it was
like
just like why
random.
would that
Random.
happen? Like
Yeah.
yeah. If you don't know, anyway, there's a lot to. I'm just gonna move on because there's too
Yeah,
many
it's
things to
fine.
fill in. So
Yep.
so I have all those people in the room with me, and like to start the day as they're starting me on pitocin and I'm taking different medication during the day to get labor going. We're like playing Uno, we're having fun, we're cracking jokes. And then eventually gets to the point where like I start bouncing on a ball and I'm like, okay, this is actually starting to hurt a little bit. And so I was updating everybody on like this is funny, but my whole family has Snapchat. But like it's hard to describe. Like my family has Snapchat, but they're only friends with family. So
That's your like
we
main
all-
form of communication, is it
It's
not?
their
Yeah.
main form of
It's
communication.
so funny.
And it's like people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and then my grandpa who's 80. Like that's how they
Cute.
communicate, by posting on their story. And we've been doing it for years, and so I was keeping my whole family informed by just posting on my Snap story.
Yeah.
And so I did it at first until it got to a point where I couldn't like do it anymore, and so I passed it off to Bryce, and then I passed it off to my niece. So that's kind of how we were keeping everybody informed. But it was getting to the point where I couldn't bounce on the ball anymore. It was too uncomfortable to do anything. I do have a really funny story where earlier in the day, before I was like completely like I can't do anything, I'm in the hole of labor, I had to go to the bathroom and I needed to take a dump. Okay.
Oh no.
I'm scared.
And it's really uncomfortable just doing everything during this process, but going to the bathroom was extremely uncomfortable as you're like in early labor.
Yeah.
And a nurse ran into my room and she was like, hey, I just need to check on the baby. It looks like the baby at some point was a little bit in distress. Like, did you do anything recently that could have made the baby like not feel, comfortable? I was like, well, I did just use the restroom. And she was like, okay. What did you do? I was like, what? I did have to go poop.
She's
And
like, can
she
you
was like,
describe
push out a hard
specifically
log.
what
I know, and I was like, why are you trying to pull this out of me? I took a dump. Yeah, I had to go poop, and it was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable, and I'm sure
I was in distress.
I'm
was
sure
in
she was in distress too. So
distress.
basically, I had to admit to the doctor that my
yeah.
dump made my child distressed in the womb, but she was fine. That was the only hiccup the entire time.
Yay, good.
But
That's
anyway,
actually
that was
really funny.
and
That
really
is funny.
embarrassing. But anyway, so my goal was to just stick out the pain as long as I could before I'm like, okay, I need some sort of relief so that I could get in the tub. That was my goal. And so I did, the side to side with the peanut ball thing and like different positions. And it's just so uncomfortable. And I think I remember the last part of the conversation I was a part of was we were talking about college, like, and the nurse came in and she was just like asking like, oh, how we all know each other and, blah, blah, blah. And then we were talking about how like my niece and my sister and I all went to the same college. I'm not really in the conversation, but I'm like hearing it.
Mm.
And then my contraction ended, and then I went, my mom didn't go to college. And I think that was the last. I think that's the last thing I said before I went dark.
That's actually really funny. My mom
That
did
you
it
felt the
though.
need,
Nar.
I felt the
I
need to be
I
said.
felt the need to say that, and my mom was like, "Case,
She's
Why
like,
are
can
you
we not
like,
right now?
why are you even talking? Like, you don't even. So I think that was
Like,
the
where
last
have
thing
you
I said.
been?
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, cool. That's all you're going to throw in. And so basically from that point, I had a comb with me. So like that was kind of like redirecting pain. And I'm just, trying to, you know,
You
do
like
whatever.
squeeze it in your hand, and the
Yeah.
bristles like kind of hurt, but in a good way.
So you're trying to like hurt your body in a different way. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
It
sounds
sounds weird,
riveting.
but it does actually help a lot. It was nice. I actually was also smelling some essential oils, some lavender essential oils.
We love a
and-
lavender.
Yeah. So I think it's around 4 p.m. at this point, and I decide to transition to the bathtub. Getting out of bed was probably my least favorite thing of the day, because like
I mean, honestly, same.
you're not like yeah, no,
Like
yeah.
that's my everyday.
Yeah. It's not like it's comfortable by any means, but like moving is worse than
Yeah.
I don't know. It's worse than anything. So I had to get up and I had to go to the tub, and I was just like, ugh.
Getting
like,
in
this-
and out of that tub.
Oh,
hurts
I would. There's so many
bad.
things
Wait,
I'd rather
so
do
when
in
you say
life. So
tub,
many
can
things.
you describe
It's like
what
a big
that means?
jacuzzi.
Yep,
Oh,
it's a huge
in
jacuzzi.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
like in
In
your
the bathroom
Yeah.
of your hospital room.
In your-
yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bless the Lord for that tub.
Okay.
Like, just bless him. And
Amen.
I just, not that I was like great, but it was way more comfortable because you have a sense of weightlessness that helps just take that load off.
Hmm.
So at this point, they upped my Pitocin. It was like 0.6. I don't know, that's probably wrong, but I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm doing something called coupling. So kind of what Mare was saying earlier, how you're just having contractions back to back, and they just could not level out my contractions. And because like this, we're doing it artificially, like they're trying to dictate and control how it's working, and it's not going very well. And so I'm in the tub. I'm literally holding on to Allie's hand, and I'm like, Allie, is there any way we can turn down the Pitocin?
Oh.
And Allie's like, Case, because you keep coupling, we're actually going to have to turn it up. And when I tell you, devastation just went over my whole body. I was just like,
no.
I'm like, okay,
Kill me.
all right, I'll just keep going. So I get to a point where this coupling, and it's just like the pain is intensifying, and I'm just like, how do I go on? Like, and I'm just thinking, like, people have done this, so it's got to be a better way for me to do this.
Like I can.
That's just
People
what
have
I
gone
keep thinking. I'm
before.
like, people
Yeah.
have done this, so like,
Yeah.
what's my deal? So I had a nurse who came in, bless her. Like, literally, we all say jokingly, like the joke of all my friends and family that were in that room is that this nurse saved my life, where she just helped me breathe through the contraction and learn how to, not really control it, but just control how the pain filtered through my body, essentially. And she was explaining, hey, you can't fight it. You have to let the contraction completely take control of your body. Like, you
Yeah.
have to basically, like,
I'm out.
I know, you have to just surrender.
You have to moan.
You have to
Honestly,
surrender.
you have to
through
moan
the
and like
pain.
let your body relax.
So I feel like that's
And
in
that's
the movies.
so hard.
It's hard. It's really hard to do that, because when you're in so much pain, what you want to do is curl into a ball and like comfort yourself. But you have to do opposite of that. You have to let your body completely just loose and flow. And so she helped me get to a really, really good place where I was actually like falling asleep in between contractions, and I was like in such a relaxed state, still in so much pain. I don't want to say that it was gone,
Yeah.
but like in such a relaxed state that it was manageable. Life was manageable, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And I kind of got like a resurgence of like, you're in it, like keep going to the prize. You're almost done. And then I was in the tub for probably 5 hours, and I feel like it went by
5 hours
I
in
think
the water.
4 or 5.
That's
4 or 5.
amazing. I feel like
a long
you're so
time.
wrinkly then when you get
Well,
out.
my arms weren't in it, so then I didn't really know anything
Oh, that's
else.
true.
So at that point, I'm like, okay, I've got to be at least 5 centimeters dilated. Like, I have to have
been
to
so
have made
long.
progress. And so they have to get me out of the tub, which is horribly painful. I get out of the tub, they check me, and I am at 3 centimeters. And the devastation I told you earlier, it was way worse this time around. And I literally spoke, I think, for the first time in a couple hours when they was like, okay, you're about 3 centimeters. Okay. But your cervix is really soft. And I literally went, you've got to be kidding me. And I was like, I have been doing this now for 26 hours. This is about 9:30. I'm around 26 hours. And I'm like, I just don't think I can do this anymore. So I was like, what do I do? Like, I'm just, and then I'm like not relaxed anymore because they put me on the bed, and I'm like back in this state of like fighting the contractions again. And I'm just like, I'm so tired, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so mad. Like, why isn't my body doing what it's supposed to?
Yeah.
Isn't this what I've been made for, to like have
Yeah.
a child? And I'm just not doing it. And so, Allie was like, are you sure, Casey? Like, you don't have to, like, because I was like, at this point, I'm like flirting with an epidural. I'm flirting with the idea of it. And Allie's like, are you sure you want to do this? And she was really good, because I was very like, no, I don't want to. And she was remembering the plan, and I was like, screw the plan.
Yeah.
Move on. And she's like, okay, we're gonna break your water, because at this point my water had not broken yet. And so they're like, let's break your water. And then I was like, if we break my water, am I still able to get an epidural? And they're like, absolutely. So I was like, okay, let's break my water, and then let's go from there. So they break my water.
How do they do
So
that?
they have a really, really long needle that looks like a knitting needle, and they shove it up there, and they go poke.
It has a little like hook on the end that they like click. They did that. Yeah, they broke mine too.
That's actually insane.
You don't feel the insertion or anything like that, but what I felt was her head go like thump against my stuff.
Interesting.
That was so painful.
Okay.
And so, because my cervix was like basically like, okay, we're ready. My cervix was ready to have the baby. So none of this makes sense to you. Your cervix has to be softened so that your baby can go through it without like destroying you. But you still have to dilate in your like vagina basically to get to 10 centimeters.
Yeah.
So if you're not opening up, but your cervix is really soft, the baby's right there ready to go out, but it needs a canal to go through. Yeah. And my body was not making the canal. Okay. So when my water broke, I felt her head go bump, and it was so, so painful. And then my contractions went up a notch. And then at that point, we waited about 10 minutes for the epidural man to come in to epidural me. Sitting me up on the bed was super, super hard. That was probably the hardest of all the times to get up. And as I'm leaning over, I'm just starting to go like, ugh, like moaning, like I had no control over what was coming out of my body. And it eventually gets to the point where I said out loud to the nurses, I just pooped. I pooped on the table. I'm like, when you move me, there's going to be poop. And I was convinced that I had just pooped.
Shat on the table.
So sorry, I'm talking about poop a lot in my story, but that's just the truth.
It's labor.
It's part of it.
So at this point, because the epidural, because of the needle and stuff, they have asked everyone to leave the room because just for safety protocols. And Bryce has to come on like the front side of me so he can't see anything that's going on, but he's the only one that can stay in the room. And so I'm making these sounds like right after I got the epidural that are just like, and the nurse is like, Casey, are you feeling pressure right now? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, where are you feeling the pressure? Like, are you feeling it in your stomach? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm feeling it in my butt. I'm feeling a lot of pressure there. And they're like, okay, is it okay if we check you? So I had to lay back down. And then the nurse checks me and she goes, okay, Casey, you're 10 centimeters.
That's
and
wild.
It's time to, can you just do like a practice push for me? And I'm like, what's a practice push? Like, I don't even know what anything is. I'm just like, you're just so in this like zone of like, I don't know anything, but I just pushed what I thought maybe was like how you push.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, that's perfect. I can see the head. And no one is in the room because everyone just left. And Allie was thinking about going home for the night because like, this has been a long day.
Right.
And she has to work the next day. And at this point, it's about 10. It's almost 10 p.m. And so the nurse says to Bryce, you need to go get everybody. Like, if they need to be in here, they got to come now. And so Bryce runs out. He flings the door open and he goes, "It's time." And that's all he said.
Like a movie.
It's time.
Yes. But the crazy thing is they're all sitting there like, "What are you talking about?" That was 3 centimeters like a little bit
Right.
ago.
Like
so
a
they're
minute
like, "What are
ago.
you talking about?" And they're like, "What?" And Bryce is like, "She's 10." And so they're all like, "What's going on?" So everybody rushes in the room. And then this is when like the lights turn on. There's a million people in the room. And they're like, "Okay, Casey, we need you to push." And when I tell you, I was so done with this whole experience. I was like, "It's time. Like, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me twice.
I'm
You
You're
tell
pushing
like,
me
this
to
the
kid
get
out
the
finish
baby
before
out.
line
push.
is
The
right
baby's
there.
out. The
Yeah.
finish line is right in front of me, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lose." So I pushed her out in 6 minutes.
That's
That's
wild.
crazy.
And she shot out like a cannon. My baby called her a cannon baby.
Aw.
She was a little cannonball.
Your baby called her a bandit,
And-
or your doula, or your
my doctor.
or doctor.
What did I say?
You said your
My
baby.
doctor called her.
My baby called my baby.
What? That didn't even make sense.
It's okay.
But your doctor.
Okay.
Got it.
My doctor. And she just came out so fast. Also, I didn't know what I was having, by the way. I didn't know she was a girl. So all of this is like just a big fun surprise. And so she shoots out so fast. And the idea was that Bryce was going to catch her, but there was no time. Like, just
Aw.
truly, it was like, "Oh, I can see the head. All right, Casey." The doctor came in. Like, I don't even remember. I like opened my eyes because they're like, "Casey, I need you to grab your leg and hold it back for me." And I thought that I was holding, like, there's pictures of me where my hand is on the top of my leg, but they're like, "We need you to put your hand under your knee and pull up." And I'm like, "I am," but I was not. I was just so like, I don't know where I am in like this
Yeah.
daze. And I just pushed her out, and I was just like, the pictures of me pushing are the most unflattering photos I think I've taken I've had taken of me in my entire life. It's but you know what?
I
was
don't
like,
get how some people post these pictures.
I've seen
Well, I guess
that.
you did post pictures. You looked good.
"Oh, did
Like
I?"
of her laying on your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
You
yeah.
looked good. Mine atrocious. Those are for my eyes only.
But some people do full glam and like have curlers.
Some people do
in
full
2
glam.
Yeah, they
seconds
do.
before.
They do.
Which if that's
They
your
do. Or,
Or
journey,
like the heatless curl.
Which,
Go off.
if it is your journey, I had a braid, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with my braid and just, whatever. I'm naked underneath my gown, so
Yeah.
it's not like I was trying. I don't know.
yeah.
I think when you're really truly in labor, and like if you don't have an epidural and you can feel everything, I don't think you. I don't know. Maybe some ladies can, but like I couldn't think about putting any makeup on my
Makeup
face.
on.
I
Or like
couldn't.
redoing my bun. My bun was
No.
like sagged. My hair's in my face.
I mean, literally,
Yeah.
my hair was just, it was not an option.
Have I
But
sent you guys some live pictures of it?
yeah, that's me.
There.
You did.
Did I?
You did,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I guess they're for my eyes and your eyes. So.
we on
You
time,
said,
buddy.
all right.
Yeah.
But I will say the relief that I felt, which is almost like it was euphoric. I mean, that's why they call it the golden hour. But like her coming out and that feeling, that sense of release, like it is immediate. Like just the pain is gone. It isn't.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you can be in so much pain and then it's over.
And like, oh, this was worth it.
Yeah,
I've seen you for
because-
5 seconds and I
yes.
already know this
And I'm
is
like,
worth it.
wow, how are you even a person? Like it just felt.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing felt fake. But
Yeah.
they came out. She put her on my chest, and then we had to kind of like move the cord, and then we all shouted, "It's a girl!" Like we all saw it at the same
Oh
time,
my
and it was
gosh.
just like if you can stand it to wait, I literally. It was one of the biggest joys of my life. It was just so
Aw.
much fun. It was so much fun. And people buy you things, and if you're worried, like, no, I need to, like, no, because you don't. I promise you. Like, it was just, I'm gonna do it every single time. It was just the best thing ever. So, Allie was taking pictures, and so she took so many good pictures, and I don't know how she did it, but like captured some of the most like authentic
Yeah.
real life pictures. And my mom was crying, my niece was crying, and like even my
Aw.
older sister, she shed a tear or two, and like
Yeah.
it was just like a really sweet moment. And
Mm.
my niece, she's so funny. She's like, "You don't even know how much you're loved. Like 50
Aw.
people love you." Like it was
Like
so
50
cute.
people?
50.
Yeah.
That's actually so
It was
wholesome.
it was so cute. And
Yeah.
it was just it was a beautiful moment. And she was just came out sucking her hand. It was the funniest thing ever. She's literally laying on me like, I'm like, "What do you even know about your fingers? Like you don't even know anything and you're sucking on your hand." And
Like, she was doing that the last
yeah,
9
it
months.
was
Yeah.
it was just so cute.
So sweet.
I mean, with joys does come a little bit of not joy, because I had a 3rd-degree tear, which
Owie.
That's bad.
basically it goes not quite all the way back to the back door, but pretty close.
Mm.
And a little bit internally. So
Oh.
there was a lot of blood. And the beauty of getting that epidural was it didn't work for any of the labor or for the birth, but it did kick in when it was time for me to get stitched up.
Thank
So
God.
I didn't feel any of that. So that was
Yeah.
a
You deserve one
big
little bit of
win.
release.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
So I don't know if I could ever time that again. I would literally do it again if I knew that that was going to happen.
Do it again as in like not get an epidural for the whole except the
I think
stitches.
my plan is to not do an epidural again. I think that's my plan. And I can't imagine that my laboring process will take longer than the first time around.
Yeah.
And my OB said that you typically don't tear or on your second time as much, or if any.
I hope not.
So
No, I hope not for both of you.
So I'm like, whatever. I think I just loved that I didn't have to. I could walk afterwards. Like literally, I gave birth to her and I stood up and walked to the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
I could
'Cause you
really do
didn't feel it?
anything. Yeah, because I mean I could feel my legs and stuff, and my right leg started to go a little bit numb before like they took it out. So it was like nothing really like besides basically it wasn't in me so long that I lost all feeling. So
Yeah.
um
Hmm.
so I will say, besides the fact that it was the longest hours of my life, it was a really, really rewarding day and so exciting. And I would do it all again. Even though it was terrible. I would do it all
Yeah.
again. It's
That's
so
actually
weird
so
because
cute. I'm gonna cry. Like the fact that you both are mothers, and just thinking about how on this podcast, if you're new listening, you can go back to season 2. But you guys both kind of announced your pregnancies very obviously very close together,
mm-hmm.
and now starting this new season, and they're actually here is wild.
I know.
It is crazy.
I know. It's crazy.
They're like
Oh
whole
my
people.
gosh.
Yeah. Personalities and
Like I'm just so excited to
it's wild.
see how they change and grow up from afar
know.
and close whenever I can. But
Yeah. But
that's
yeah,
wild.
that's my story, and it was a really awesome day. And it is crazy, like the longer you get away from it, the more you like have to remember and like think really hard
Yeah.
to remember everything that happened.
I feel like your brain
Because
does
people always
that,
say
right?
you forget,
Yeah.
you forget. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's almost like a defense mechanism
There's
to
like a
make you want to do it again because you forget how awful it was. But
yeah. You can remember what it feels like to stub your toe. I cannot tell you what it felt like to like get out of that tub and feel that contraction pain.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's like
wild.
a whole other kind of pain that I like can't even explain.
Mhm. It's just a whole body
Yeah.
pain, but like nowhere specific, but everywhere all at once. I don't know.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Please.
I've always said that.
But even like, I mean, both had like rough pregnancies and then births, and like to hear that like you would do it again. I feel like that is kind of the resounding thing I've heard of like moms, as well as like you obviously know the reward and you have your child now,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you like don't remember the pain and now would do it all
Yeah.
again. even the 9
Yeah.
months of sickness for for your
Yeah, I
child.
just really hope the next
I
time
know.
around is
I
not like
hope
that,
not.
because that was literally
Yeah.
terrible. But
From afar.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So we're gonna go from our big change in life
happy life.
to
Wow.
a little bit of a
Kiara brings down
yeah,
the mood.
I'm bringing
Yeah, no
down the
kidding.
mood with my life. I'm trying to just think about what all to dive into, but
and obviously just do whatever you're comfortable with.
yeah,
And,
yeah, thank you. I guess long story short, I'm single. But I think in reality, just obviously from the last couple seasons, if you've been following along, I was dating someone. I truly, even though we're not together right now, I can only speak good things about him and speak so highly about him because he is still an amazing person. Absolutely. I just kind of came to a road where I couldn't see the future with this person and I knew that I needed to end it. And it's probably one of the I know you said that birth was one of your hardest things you had to do. Honestly,
it's an emotional
Yes.
yes,
valid
it's
and
very
Totally.
difficult. I mean, even though I was the one that ended it, it still was like, I mean, that night was like a really difficult night to come to terms with, but ultimately I just knew that we needed to have a conversation, and because I do have so much love and care for him, like I knew that I needed to end things in the time that I did and the way that I did because I didn't want to keep progressing in our relationship, if I knew what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So
mm-hmm.
ultimately I mean, I wish him the best. I do. And it sucks too cuz he is amazing, like his family amazing. Like I can't, again, I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I just have so many amazing memories with his family. They were so generous to me, like such kind people, and his friends. He has a really good circle around him. So I know that we're both going to be okay because I have good people around me too. But I just needed to do what I knew was going to be best for me. And that's ultimately because I didn't feel assured about the future. So
Yeah.
if you guys have more specific questions, maybe I'll answer them in my
Can I just
in our
say-
email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most Kiara thing.
Uh-oh.
So they broke up. It was like Memorial Day ish.
Yeah.
It was like
Right?
right before
Or is
Mira
it
was
Labor Day?
It
born.
was,
No,
yeah, it
Memorial
was
Day.
Did I-
Memorial.
Did I say her name is Mira?
Oh, no, you didn't.
But Mira.
Mira.
Her name is Mira. Mirabella. Anyway,
Cute.
keep going.
Cute.
and we love it.
Way to steal my
but
show.
I know. Sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
But Kiara, they broke up on like Memorial Day, which is we both had babies, and
I think it was
I
my
don't know if-
birthday. Was it my birthday?
It was like it was the
it was Sunday.
Sunday night before Memorial Day, so probably like the 25th
Okay.
or something.
It was just a couple days before.
Yeah.
But Kiara was so like, you guys have so much going on and so much happy. Like, we really don't have to talk about it. And we're like, Kiara.
I'm like, hey, I know your life
Literally-
is like so exciting, but like mine's crumbling down.
We're like, your life matters too. Just
Yeah,
because
you
you
did
didn't
say
have a baby
that.
doesn't mean we don't
Yeah.
want
I
to talk
know.
about this stuff.
I
Like,
know.
but that just is such a Kiara thing of like, you guys are having happy things, and I don't want to like bring
I
you
know.
down. You know.
Totally.
I know. That is true. You did
But-
say that. And then I had the confirmation too of like, you're right. You're right. Because I mean, up until that point, like, we were planning a future and seeing what could be. And it's a very humbling
Yeah.
thing to go through a breakup in your upper 20s, especially if you did like think and believe that it was going a different direction. Again, I know that I was the one that ended it, but I knew that's what I needed to do. But it's a humbling place. And this could maybe be for a later topic, but I've had to bring that to the Lord genuinely of like being 28, going to be 29 in a couple months and be like, okay, I'm freshly single. I still desire those things and to be a mom and to have a family and to like have this life, but that's just not what my life is right now. So I think it's a good place for me to just be like recentering like what I want, what I need, what I feel like the Lord has for me next, because I don't know, to be honest. I think that's the part is like, it's a question mark. It's not that there was any one thing wrong with this person, but it's just, I don't feel the confidence going into something else.
Yeah.
And so I need to like listen to that discernment. But yeah, that was
Well, and I
in.
think it's cool that you did that because a lot of people just will settle because they're in a
Yeah.
point where they're like, I'm in my upper 20s and I want to
Yeah.
have a family and I want to have kids. Like,
Yeah.
so like this is good
Yeah.
enough. I think a lot of people will land there. So I'm proud of you for
Mm.
wanting more.
Totally.
Oh, thank you. And I think I'm trying to figure out what is that more, because it's hard for me to sit here and be like the settling thing, because I'm looking back and I'm like, but we could have lived a great life, and I still believe that. But just, what do I desire my life to look like? Is it that? Is
Yeah.
it something else? And I think it's the something else that's a question mark that I like need to be removed from. I mean, ultimately that's kind of what I said during our conversation of like, I have to figure it out outside of the relationship, because I don't know how people do that in relationships. Like, it was giving me so much like anxiety and stress, and I'm not typically an anxious person, but I knew I couldn't keep progressing forward feeling that way. I needed
Yeah.
some kind of peace, and the peace that ultimately I ended up getting was now, a couple months later. So it's been like 3 months. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I know that the decision was right, and I can still hold such amazing memories with this person, because ultimately I look back between him and the person I dated before, and the one before was like the worst person alive and was just
Right.
awful. That's a story from another time. Or I think honestly we did an episode on exes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, to feel fully healed in a different relationship from someone that did you so wrong before is like such a precious thing. And that's something he's always gonna have, like always gonna have
Yeah.
given me, is felt
He
so
healed
safe. He
you. He
healed
helped
me.
healed you in some
Oh my
ways.
gosh, yes. And that's again why I'm sitting here like so grateful. So grateful that our paths
Yeah.
crossed. We met on Hinge, and like, I don't think our worlds would have collided, really. Like, maybe very very loosely, but the fact that it did, and it happened when we did, and we dated how we did, like, I'm just grateful for that time and that season ultimately. And I know it came to a close, but I'm just focusing on Kiki right now, and I hope that he's focusing on himself too, because like I said, he's an amazing person and he does deserve the world. He does. Um so yeah, a couple months later, I mean, we're doing this recording end of August. I don't know when it'll come out, but like, I'm sitting here like just looking back and grateful, but I'm also excited for what's ahead. So I'm, dealing
Yeah.
with a breakup. And oh, this is the other thing I'll say about that too. I also realize like I have like really solid people in my life, because I could say that to you, and even though being so far away, being like, no, like it still matters, is like such a sweet thing to say, because like I said, you're like literally giving birth to your children, and you can be like, no, like it's okay. And I'm gonna get emotional right now, but like, even like the next week, it was Memorial Day, and so we had the day off, and one of my roommates just like made me breakfast and just like let me sit there
Hmm.
and cry, and like, because it's still sad. I think no matter if you're coming to terms with doing the ending or if someone is doing it for you, it still
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really hard and really sad. And I had someone like come by and drop me off a little like care package thing, and just like let me sit and cry with them. So I just feel
Oh.
like
Yeah.
that week too, and at work I work with mostly guys. So like, I kind of had to tell at least my boss, because I'm like, I don't want you to be giving me this bro energy, because I'm not doing this week,
Yeah.
So I just kind of gave
Yeah.
him a little bit, and they were all like, okay, like let's just like let's go like for ice cream like one day, and just like we don't have to talk about it, just like let's
Mm.
go as like,
Bond.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
bond. And so I think I just realized too, after that week, and after I like was kind of like telling people that it had ended, like, I have really amazing people in my life, and that was like so kind that the Lord, like, because I knew that before, but this is probably the, I don't know, in my my life, right at the point, was like the biggest like shift happening, is like going for something that has been in my life for almost 2 years to not, is like really
Yeah.
huge. And again, it's like when you're thinking about the future and you're planning for things, and then you're like, okay, I have to start over and I have to go back to zero, and then all of the emotions come of every direction. And obviously the
Yeah.
enemy's voice is super loud too, of like, you're never going to have what you do desire. And I'm like, well,
Mhm.
yeah, because I don't
Yeah.
know, but like, I need to just rest in that whatever the future is, it's going to be good, and I have good people around me. So I feel like now that it's been a couple months, like, yeah, I feel like good and like ready with where my life is at. I still don't know what the future holds, but I'm like waking up excited rather than just like weeping in my bed. And so I'm like glad for that. Like, so there's like sunshine on the other side. It was really hard for a while, but again, it hasn't even been like that long, but
It was sad girl summer.
sad girl summer. Yeah. I had a lot of
Mhm.
espresso martinis.
As you should.
As I should. But I'm sitting here just grateful for that season, but excited for what's next. So I'm in my auntie era to you guys's
Yeah.
kids
and your brothers.
exactly.
Yeah.
My brother and his wifey had a little baby girl. Also, her name is Raleigh. She was born July 12th.
So cute.
She's so cute. Literally, I'm going to visit her over Labor Day weekend. So I don't know if this is before or after this comes out. So I'll
just
probably
sniff that
will
head.
have more to talk about. I know, literally, my sister-in-law Jess was like, "Get ready for baby snuggles," and I literally am like, "I need that baby on me. I need to sniff that baby. I need to hold that baby, that chunky."
Yeah.
And she'll be July, August. I mean, I guess like a month, maybe a little over a month and a half old. So I'm so excited
still
for
like
that.
little newborn.
Yes,
yeah.
So I'm just in my
tiny
auntie era,
baby.
and I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
And I'm just living my life. I've been traveling a lot. I mean, literally I think the weekend after everything happened, I was like, I need to. Well, what did I do? Oh, I went to Durham with like one of my friends, and then I went to Austin, I think, and then the end of the summer I went to California with some girlfriends for my friend's 30th birthday. So I've just been traveling it up, and I think like it's been so fun. I think the first trip that I did that I've come back to and that I didn't have him to talk to was really hard, but I think it's like you have to keep doing the things to like be like okay with your emotions. So now this last time when I came back from California, I'm like, okay, I can like sit in my room and not feel like so sad, you know what I mean? I can just look at the photos and be excited and maybe like get some sleep rather than just be thinking like, oh, I would talk about all of this and dissect the trip and do all the things, because that's what I would do and I would look forward to that. But now it just looks a little different. So I'm kind of relearning some things in my life and things to come as well, I think. But yeah, that's my update. Sad girl summer and birthing girl summer for you guys.
Yep.
Two stark different
postpartum,
things.
so it's still it's happy girl summer, but kind of sad girl summer at the same time.
I will say I've never been happier to not be pregnant, though.
Ooh,
Yeah, I am
I'm glad for you
woman.
guys.
I am a different woman.
Yep.
I love it. That's it. That's for me. Again, that's kind of probably all I'll say, and because I will never keep, harping on any like issue that
well,
it
it's
had.
not
but
even like you broke up with him for like a downfall
Right.
or like
right.
it just he just wasn't your person.
It just wasn't my person. So
and that's part of what makes it hard, is because you are like the kindest person anyone could ever meet, and so for anyone to break up with someone and hurt them is hard, but especially for you to break up with someone and hurt them, like
it's
hurt
hard.
someone that you really cared for. Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it is, and I think that like, I mean, the weekend after I was like, I can do hard things. Because I was like, if I can have this like honest conversation and be like sure of the decision I need to make, which is true, then I can do hard things. But I mean, I wish you all the best. Truly. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, I think there's only good vibes. So anyways, so we'll see in the next couple episodes what my life leads to. But
I think we're gonna have some fun adventures.
I think we're gonna have some fun adventures.
Oh,
Knowing me and just in general, my whole life's an adventure. So just buckle up in single Kiki era. Thank you.
Yeah.
Era.
But that's it. You want to bring down the mood?
And also,
sorry.
Yeah, bring down the mood. I was just gonna say, like, this isn't. I know we've already said this before, but this isn't gonna turn into like a mom's podcast either.
Yeah.
So
thank you. For
we just
saying
wanted
that.
to say, we just wanted to tell you guys like what happened and like just fill you in on it. But like, not that I'm gonna avoid talking about my child, because that's probably not true. But I'm not gonna just be like, so this week, this is.
We're not gonna come and be like, okay, here are the best strollers.
of
2024.
Can you use my affiliate marketing link, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No.
I mean,
This
love
is
it.
a
They're
friendship
part of your life.
podcast. This is about our friendship.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about. So
And now it's just
I just
a
wanted
couple
to say
more
that
friends.
in case you were
Thank
like,
you for
"Ew, is
saying
this
it.
what we're just going to talk about the rest of the time?" No.
No.
And I also don't want to talk about the rest of that. Anyway,
It's just like catch up on life. I mean, a lot of life is
Yeah.
you've lived in the last couple months.
Yeah.
So
that's Okay, Mary,
okay,
bring down that.
bring it. It was
mood.
down, but bring it more down.
Yeah.
So, in case you are unfamiliar with our podcast, at the end of each episode, I, Mare, come up with a question and ask it. And I don't know why it started as like bringing down the mood, but it
It's actually
I
brings
mean,
up the
I think
mood.
It
to be
really
honest.
does. I think the first time you asked it, we were like, "Ew, why are you like bringing down the mood?" Because I think we didn't like the question.
Sure.
But
It was the what drinks are in your fingers? What would you be having for life? That one
You're
sticks
welcome
out.
for that one. Okay, this one, we're starting off with an easy one, okay?
Okay.
I want to know what gives you the ick. Not just in like guys that you're interested in, but in like people or even in yourself. Like
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
I've recently discovered an ick that I have about myself.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
Do
Noah
tell.
and I, my husband and I, we got tattoos yesterday.
Mhm.
And I realized in like leading up to this, I think I get an ick when people do this, but when I do this, because I was doing this in the last little bit, of like pointing to a spot on your body and saying like, I'm gonna get this here. I don't know why, but that act it kind of gives like 18-year-old Meredith who was like, I'm gonna get it as well on my back.
Okay.
You know what
Okay.
I mean?
I'm
So
gonna
like
get
I would say like,
rest
yeah,
in
we're gonna
him.
get our anniversary right here, and I was like, ew, am I 12?
I'm actually crying. I've never heard that ick before. It's so specific. Like almost
It is
too
super
It is
specific.
so specific.
But it's one that I've recently experienced in
Acquired.
myself.
Sure.
Yes. Yep.
That's a good
All
one.
right. Okay. I mean, I have one about it's like when someone is saying things and talking about something just so that you'll ask them questions about it.
Oh, I hate that.
Wait.
And I'm okay, so let me give you an example, Kira.
Okay.
I'm running a 5K or I just got a new house. Okay. Oh man, we just went furniture shopping like all week. You want me to say, "Oh my gosh, you just got a new house. Oh my gosh, tell me everything. Congratulations." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Casey does, which is probably not good. I just go, "Oh yeah, furniture stores are so boring."
I actually hate houses.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, okay, that didn't work. Let me try
Yeah.
another question." Yeah, so we like really we're wanting to get a bigger couch for our living room. Oh, I love a big couch. I think big couches are comfy.
So you
and
turn it
I-
into a game.
You're
it
such a
sounds
brat.
like.
I know.
But honestly,
Literally.
I'm the same because I'm like, I'm not giving in. I know what you want,
Right.
and
I
I'm
know
not
what
going
you
to play
want.
this game.
And
If
here's
you
the
want to
thing,
talk
if
about
you
your house,
wanna
just
talk
talk
about it. Then just talk about it.
Yes.
Honestly valid.
I was like,
Don't-
we got a house.
Yes, like, hey, I got a new house and I'm really excited. Is it okay if I talk to you about it? Like, sure, great. Like, tell me all
Do you
about
want
it.
to see pictures?
I'm
Yeah.
happy for you, but don't make me feel like don't use me as the person to get you to talk about it when you're the one who wants to
Yeah.
talk about it. And
Oh
you're
well,
like,
you asked.
yes.
I don't like that.
That I do not like when people do that. I think it's
Specifically
really
in the
frustrating.
running
And-
category. I feel like that because I know a
Yeah.
couple people at work too that are just into marathons, and I'm like, I don't want to know what goes into
Yeah.
that
yeah,
because I'm not
And,
going
like,
to do it. Happy for you.
I am happy
Not
for
me.
you, and like I don't want people to think I'm not happy for them, but like
You're anti-running.
I think there's I don't
You're
know
anti-running.
what's the reason behind you needing me to bring it up when you want to bring it up.
Validation.
Like there's some sort yes like what's like are you not getting this in some other way in
Right.
life? And I and maybe you're hearing me say this and you're like, wait, I do that.
Check
I don't know,
yourself.
maybe this
Then
is a good,
learn.
Maybe this is a good eye opener for
Yeah.
you. But
Casey
if
has
you
the
wanna
ick
talk
for
about
you.
something. Please just be straightforward with me. I'm like, hey, I really would love to talk about this, and I'm like, great, let's talk about it.
Well, my tattoo is just really itchy.
Which one? Right there?
The one that's right
The
there,
one-
and the one
my
that's right
arm is
there.
right there.
itchy.
Just hit it. Slap it.
My arm's probably really itchy because, like, I don't know. I just got something new.
I
I
do
want
call
you
it
to ask me about it.
tattoo. I do like the placement
Oh
though,
yeah.
to be
Oh
fair.
man, this is so itchy on my arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Cool.
really good creams for itches. And
I'll send you some Aquaphor.
Some Aquaphor. You know I love Aquaphor.
What about you, Keek?
Yeah, one of my recent icks that I noticed that other people do and I do is when you're drinking something new, i.e., I was in Napa Valley a couple weeks ago and we went to a winery tour. And naturally, I'm getting a little wine tipsy, looking outside. But like we
Duh.
were walking around and like the guy would like pour the wine and we would like, drink it and then we go,
You don't like
do
that?
you know what I mean?
Yes. You don't like that?
I don't think so. I don't think about it until I think about it. And then when I think about it, I
just
get
like,
the
do you need to do it?
Probably not. You can just probably drink it.
Oh, you guys, I do that so hard.
But it's
I'm
like
not even bashful.
It's
about
like
it.
you, and it's like the three little.
Oh, what is that? Am I tasting?
It's the. I think it's the sound, but I do it, so I know it's an act for people, but also for me because I'm probably also gonna not stop doing it. But it's one of those human things you don't really think about until you're like, oh.
Yeah. Until
you do that, and then we all kept doing it like every glass, and then it was like, okay, like someone needs to stop because now I like all I can think about is like our mouth making that sound.
Oh, that's so funny.
So that would be my.
That is a
current
good one, Keith.
Thank you.
That was really
Thank
good.
you.
That was really good. Oh, well,
I like
this was
that.
fun, you guys.
Oh my
It's good to
gosh.
it's good
It's
to get
so
back
good to be
into
back.
it.
We're so back.
Yeah.
We're so back, baby.
Better than ever.
Oh. Okay.
Anything you can
Sorry.
do, I can do in heels.
Oh. Also okay.
Ew. Oh, that
Did
sounds
you
like
love
something that
that?
used to be on a shirt that you would wear. I don't know. Yuck.
Me?
I don't
You
know.
think I would wear that?
Well, something.
It's a
but,
Hollister
like,
quote.
The same type of quote, but like a mare version in 7th grade.
Maybe
Isn't that a
in
musical
7th grade,
song?
yeah.
Anything you can do, I can do.
Anything you can
that
do,
one.
I can do better.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
do anything
Better than you.
No, you
Boop.
can't.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. No, thank you for making it to the end of this episode, you guys. And
was
this
awesome.
kicks off season 3. So buckle up for an amazing season. We got
Buckle up.
exciting things going in our lives. We also always have our email open. If you've been around, you know that we love to hear from our listeners. So you have a question for us to answer, you have something silly to say, send us an email at itsbeenforeverpod@gmail.com and you will be featured and you might get roasted. Both in the same. On this episode, well, not this episode, but this podcast, this one, no listeners wrote us in, but it's fine. We needed to remind you guys to do that in the future.
You
It's
just
been a long
forgot.
time. It's
You
fine.
just forgot.
You
It's
just
not that you
forgot.
didn't want
It's
to, it's
okay.
just you
It's
forgot,
okay.
and
It's
you're
okay. It's
forgiven.
okay.
You're
We have
forgiven.
some very honorable mentions that maybe we need to like circle back to just to remind you guys all the options you have. But we're also on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, believe it or not. So follow along there. It's been forever.
And when we say
podcast.
Facebook, we say that so loosely. Like, don't.
I think we
message us,
have
we're not gonna
one
message you back.
follower. So please follow that one. Thanks.
If that's your platform of use, I would say you can find us probably the most on Instagram. We're gonna post stories on there, and we'll let you know a little more like tidbits into the last podcast episode, and maybe post some follow up pictures and stuff. So definitely always follow us on there and DM us on Instagram. That's probably your best way to get a hold of us, or send us an email.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Well, guys, so good to be back.
So good to be back.
So good.
Tune in next
Now
week.
get out my
for a new
crib.
episode. Love you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Love you. Okay.
Oh.
Why was that so weird? Guys, we're out of our game. Okay, I'm leaving.
Wait.
Bye.
Wait.
What? Are we just like
what happened?
we have to end the
What
we
do
have to
you
say
mean?
bye.
Yeah.
Why are you guys being weird about that?
Bye. I don't know. Casey just stopped and went, "Wah."
I know. I felt uncomfortable.
Why?
And I'm not sure
I'm
why.
not hopping off. I'm just we have to say
No,
bye
I
to the
meant-
listeners.
Well, I know, but I was trying to remember how we did it, and I couldn't remember. And then I
Let me show you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
bye.
That's it.